In this video, we're going to start looking at some of the parameters accessible from the front panel of the Volca FM, so we can start to manipulate some of the sounds. We're going to start off looking at the Transpose Slider and Velocity Slider, which are both located here. Now, the Transpose Slider allows us to transpose a part up either an octave or by semitones. Let me demonstrate. Now we can transpose up or down 3 octaves. Now, in order to transpose by semitone, we need to use the function keys. So this is the first time we've looked at these. So you can see on the keyboard here, we have something written on the notes, and those are secondary functions for the notes. So if we press the function button here and press number 11, which is transpose note, now we're going to be transposing by note. So in this case, we can do 3 octaves, but this time we're doing it by semitone. Okay, so next up we have the velocity slider here. Now this determines the velocity setting of the notes that we're playing or recording. And when we look at some of the more detailed parameters later, we also can use the velocity slider to enter different values for these parameters. That's using the edit button. Okay, so as well as transposing using the transpose slider, we can also transpose the keyboard of the Volca FM using these octave switches here. Okay, so next up, let's have a look at the modulator and carrier knobs here. Now each one of our 6 operators has its own envelope setting. But these modulator and carrier attack and decay controls control all the attack settings for all our modulators, and likewise for our carrier, and the same for decay. So let's say all the modulator envelopes have their own individual settings. This attack and decay will change those settings relative to their own start point. So these are affecting attack and decay for all our modulators and attack and decay for all our carriers. So let's start by changing the settings for our carriers. So you can hear we had that softening of the attack of the carriers. Let's try changing the decay. Okay, and let's do the same thing for the modulator. Okay, so you can see these attack and decay controls from modulator and carrier allow us a quick and easy way of dialing in the kind of tone we're looking for. So next up we have the LFO rate and pitch depth controls here. Now you can think of the LFO as being an additional oscillator that allows us to modulate the pitch and the amplitude of our other operators. Now we set how much we're going to affect pitch and amplitude from the edit menu. It's one of our additional parameters. We're going to look at that later. But basically, with these 2 knobs here, we can control the rate of the LFO and the amount the LFO is going to affect the pitch of all the operators. Now, in fact, from within our detailed parameter list, we have something called mod sense pitch. This allows us to actually specify the range that this works in. But we're going to look at that later. Okay, so let me just play back some MIDI. So you can hear I was introducing a vibrato into the sound there. And obviously with the LFO rate, we can make that sound more metallic the faster the LFO goes. Now, as I said, in the parameter list, when we go into the edit menu, we can specify our LFO shape and other parameters, but we're going to look at that later. Okay, next up we have the program knob here. Now this allows us to select presets. Now when we go into our edit menu later, we're going to see that the program knob also has another function, allowing us to select different parameters. Now we have 30 different slots for programs. And as I said, we can also import sounds from the DX7 and replace any of our factory presets which are included. You'll see as we change it, the name of the preset updates in our little display there. Okay, so finally we have our algorithm knob that we've already looked at, allowing us to select each one of our 32 different algorithms. Okay, so those are the parameters available on the front panel that we can use for sound design. Some of the things over here, the arpeggiator section and the playback area, we're going to have a look at in a later video. So now we know how to edit our sounds at a basic level. In the next video, we're going to have a look at saving presets and how that's managed on the Volca FM. Thanks for watching.